Today, I will be completing Elden Ring as Kenpachi from Bleach. I will be using all of his abilities that he uses in the show Bleach inside of Elden Ring. And with that being said, let's get in to the rules. The first rule, I can only use stuff that Kenpachi uses, which is his sword and also his Shikai. Next up, no spirit summons. I'll be completing this alone, Kenpachi only. And last, gold summons will be allowed. And with that all being said, let's get in to the run. I then start off as the samurai class and attempt to fight the grafted scion. Keyword, attempt. Then I'm able to level up after talking to Melina, who could, also be like, that pink girl, like small girl, like you is, I don't know. And then I get the Dactus medallion for the left, and I kill Yura. I think that's his name. Who, give me a tiny bit of trouble. Died a couple of times, but this is used as his katana. Then I kill the sleeping dragon and use its runes to invest in a lot of strength, as Kenpachi has a lot of that, and vigor. Then I get the right hand of the Dactus medallion. Then it is time for Margit. Now, this guy is easy in every single one of my runs, and especially in this one. So, in this first phase, just does a bunch of easy attacks that you're able to dodge. Since I have a bunch of bleed attacks, I'm able to get a decent stagger and get a bunch of my stamina back. Then, for phase 2, he gets a massive hammer. Yay! We love hammer time! Well, anyway, most of the attacks are really easy to dodge, and I'm able to get a couple of good bleed procs, dealing a bunch of damage. Then, it's gadget time! We love gadget! He's the easiest shard bearer. So, I just do the same thing I did for Margit, but this time I try and go for more staggers than bleeds, because this guy has a little bit more health, and also Nefelilu helps a lot more than the Rogier, and she's able to do over 1,000 damage with one of her Ashes of War. That attack that he's doing right now is a wee bit hard to dodge, but luckily he went for the Nefeli, and not me, because if he went for me, I'd be dead. Definitely 100%. I stagger him a couple times, get a couple bleeds, and for second phase goes exactly the same. Really, this is just an easy fight all the way around, and I think I did this first try. Then it's time for Werewolf of Wargan. I don't know why this guy's the boss. This guy is so easy. It's mind-numbingly easy. I beat this boss first try every single time. They need to buff this guy. Well, they probably would have done it already. But, nonetheless, I do what I did for all the other bosses. Hack and slash him. And try and get a riposte. Which, with the Red Wolf, is really, really hard. Then It's time for Renala. Boo! We hate Renala. She is so boring. First phase goes easy. I can just skip over that. You know, it's the same thing over and over again. Second phase, the same thing as all the other bosses. You know, I just hate this boss a lot. The only thing that like kind of made me happy was me almost first phasing Renala, which you know gave me a nice big old smile on my face as I was sitting back in my £20 gaming chair with my £2.50 mic and my £2.50 PS5 controller. Anyway, both fights go pretty well, and I get a decent chunk of runes from her. So I'm thinking this run's going pretty well so far.
Yeah, but no, like the crispation is.
Then it is time for the third shard bearer, Redan. So this is why I have the gold summon rule, because I'm not 1v1 on Redan. I'd get absolutely demolished if I was 1v1 on this fatty. Look at him. Look at the wee fatty fat. Anyway, he starts shooting arrows at me whenever I'm far away. And I'm like, hey buddy, that's not very nice. I'd say that's something a meanie poopy head would do. That's something a dick face would do. And you know that I don't like dick faces, bro. So I have to end up going close to him. And then he does an attack string that almost one-shots me if it were to hit. His basic attacks would also almost one-shot me. I think some of them actually would one-shot me. But he just swings his swords around, and like I dodge them because I'm so cool and because I'm the strongest. Because you could say I'm number one. Anyway, I do about 600 damage with a charged heavy, which you know, we take that. Try to get the stagger off, which we do. We have to get a couple of slashes, get a bleed off as well, and we get him to pretty decent health for second phase. I'm able to also summon Castellar Jiren, who does a lot of damage. I'm able to bring the summons away from Redan whenever he comes down for his big attack. So then we can all just gank Redan and beat him up, because you know we're the best around. Now it is time for the Draconic Tree Sentinel fight. Every single time I do this fight, it just gets easier and easier. So at the start I do 3 heavy attacks, which gets a stagger off. I probably should have, you know, buffed up first, but it doesn't matter. Well, I just do what I did for all the other bosses. Charged R2s, R1s, every other time, just to try and get some more bleed. Use Determination Acid Roar, and then do charged R2. And fight's easy after that. Now, Godfrey. And, before I say anything about this, if you made it this far, why don't you like and subscribe? Help a small content creator out like me. It'd really mean a lot. And you know, maybe get me out in the algorithm. Cause you know, I find this stuff fun. But anyway, let's get back to the fight. Well, in this fight, Godfrey has a lot of openings, where I'm able to do a lot of charge R2s and jump attacks. And that leads to me being able to get him a stagger, using my determination, which gives my riposte a 1.5 damage boost. I think it is. I don't know. I don't know what's on top of my head. And he just spams the same attack. I have a couple close calls, but other than them, the fight's really easy. Only sad thing is, no bleeds because he's a goat. Morgoth! No, I summon Melina, because you know, she's a very big help. She could summon a tree that heals me, and you know, I kinda need that sometimes. And as you can see, I have proof that I first tried this boss. So, what do I do with this boss? I do what I do for all the bosses, silly. Go with charged R2s, try and go for a stagger. Reyna does mostly holy damage, so you know he's got like a looks like a 40% damage negation to holy. So Melina's not that much damage, but it's not about that. She has a lot of good supporting spells. I think by good she only has one. I did miss a key time to hit a riposte, which you know would have been a lot better. I almost died by the swords that he dropped down, and I still have not gotten a bleed yet, which I just got down now. Now Morgoth gets into his second phase, which is a lot trickier, because this guy moves a lot more. He uses a lot more projectiles. He's like the Draconic Tree Sentinel and the Godfrey mixed together. Also has a lot of long, some delayed attacks. But whenever you heal, he always goes for a dagger throw or a lance throw. So, all in all, this fight was kind of easy. As you know, I beat the first try. You know, that was too good. Remember in the comment section, best Elden Ring player ever, because that is me. And for the next fight, I'm gonna need a couple extra runes. So I go and kill the Flying Dran Grail in Kaled to give me a nice solid 100k runes. You know, if there weren't a sign I did in this video, you'd think I hate this game. And you know, I kinda do. But it's fire jam time. It's fire time. I hate this guy. This is the worst boss in the game. If you thought I hated Renala, I hate this guy a lot more. Why? And you see the new Elden Ring DLC? See, there's another massive fire giant looking guy. I'm finished. There's no way I'm gonna be able to beat that. Well, what I did in this fight is the same as I did in every other fight. I hit him with a bunch of charged R2s, but I mostly hit him a bunch of R1s to try and get bleed proc. But whenever he's standing still, I would hit him with a bunch of R1s, And second phase fire gen, there's not really much else to say. It's the same thing, but it does more projectiles, and he's even more annoying. I didn't know that was even possible, but you know, the first time for everything, I guess. And then wander on over to, you know, a flying something. I don't know what this is. I don't know. It's the flying castle or something. I was gonna say flying castle. I wander over this flying castle, and these two white supremacists come after me. And you know, Kenpachi says no to racism. Even though the white supremacists are using black flame spells, which you know doesn't really work. But like, shh, shh, shh. Well, I summoned Bernal for the fight, and let's just say he puts in some work. He could basically solo the apostle, and you know, I just let him do that. Let him do him. The only bad thing this leaves me with is I have to fight the noble. Yeah, the noble. Fatty McFat. As I've quoted before in other videos, he is the reason I hate all fat people. But this fight does go well. It only took me, I think, about 5-6 attempts. So, with all that being said, it's time to fight Big Mally. You know, I think I find the first phase of this fight a lot harder than Malakav now. After watching a couple of videos of me being bad, I realised the first phase is really hard, and actual Malakav isn't that bad. You know, maybe because like he starts off at like, I don't know, half health. But Beast Clergyman does so much damage, and I can't even dodge his attacks. I don't know why. There must be like something wrong with me. But anyway, Beast Clergyman, hit him with the Kenpachi special. Hold R2 and pray. Every single time I get hit by that dagger attack, you'd think, you know, I'd learn. I never learn. So, you know, this fight is kinda hard. Anyway, for the second phase, I attack him in all of his openings. And, you know, there was a wee bit of struggle, but I am able to beat him in the end and get the destined death thing. I don't know what it's called. You know, someone tell me in the comments, please. Now it's time for old Mick, old man, Gideon, sir, person. Yeah, you know, Gideon goes as Gideon normally does go. I just hit him a bunch whenever he's doing his wee speech. yeah, there's literally nothing more to say. I do what I do for every other fight. Dodge all of his attacks. Got really close to doing a hitless, but nothing more I could do. I just hate this guy. He's a wee scumbag. In the Gabby Mario video, he made me almost throw my controller against the wall. So yeah, I hate him, and I'm so happy I beat him first try, so I didn't have to do this god awful fight again. No, I fought him in his ghost form. I fight him in his human form. It's time for Godfrey, sorry, the first Elden Lord, and I do damage. This guy cannot handle all the damage I do, and you know he does a decent bit of damage. And you know Kenpachi is looking for all these strong opponents, so you know this is the perfect guy to go up against. And you know I'm gonna be claiming his axe as my new weapon whenever I beat him. So first phase is just like a copy of the Ghost Godfrey, except whenever he gets lower health, he goes for a big slam attack, and all of his kicks now do a field wild shockwave. But other than that, nothing else is changed. Horlu's next, and I set up to fight Kenpachi the Bond, which does absolutely no damage, which I find crazy. I also do a lot of damage with my charge R2s and R1s, so you know I'll gladly take that. I try and get some determinations off and some charged R2s, which it was they are a wee bit harder to get off in this phase, because he does like to move a lot, and he does these massive combos which you know absolutely wreck your health bar, and there is not much time to heal. So with that all being said, this fight was okay. I wouldn't say it was that easy. I did first try it, but you know it did take me a tiny bit. And now it's time for Moog. You know, I'm getting kinda good at this game. I say that right as I get absolutely bodied by a blood boon. Well, guess what my saying is for this entire video? I collect L2, spammed R1. Tried to get the bleed, and you know, surprisingly, the Lord of Blood can bleed. I know, who would have thought? But first phase goes quite well. So I just spammed me a bunch of R2s, and that does the job basically. And then second phase. Second phase is basically like the exact same thing, but he just has a bunch of add-ons to his attacks. Like having, I'm not sure if in the first phase his blood flame stuff has fire. I don't think it does, so it adds that, and there's a couple more very hard to damage attacks. So you know, this fight goes kind of well, but I do struggle a wee bit. But next fight will be the final. And now it's time. It is now time for me in my channel's history to beat the game as Kenpachi. So I use Godfrey's axe, which is kind of like his shikai he gets in the manga. It looks, you know, quite the same. So for Radagon, he takes a couple of heavy attacks to stance break. Just do a bunch of charged R2s. Hit him with a babushka dadushka. And, you know, if you didn't hear me before, I'll say it again. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And, you know, comment down below what you want me to do next. I'm gonna try and go into some different types of content. But, you know, I wouldn't mind doing some other stuff. I do like doing the Elden Ring videos. So, I just do a bunch of R2s and then I take him out easily. No, Elden Beast. I don't like Elden Beast. He just runs. He's a little bitch. But most of the attacks are quite easy to dodge. The Elden Stars can be quite annoying whenever you go up against it. But other than that, I found it quite easy. And I beat the final boss. I would like to thank you all for watching this far into the video. And yes, it is true. Kenpachi Shiraki is the strongest and beat Elden Ring.
Will look back upon us and recall an age of fracture.